I'm on a mission to see winter not as a season of darkness and despair, but of cozy sweetness. And to help myself along the way, we're doing some cozy crafts. And y'all know I love a sustainable style option, so today I'm going to show you how to make the cutest mittens you've ever seen out of thrifted sweaters. Yes, it is as cozy as it sounds. We're also going to be doing some other wintry crafts, like making custom paper garlands and soup. First order of business, we need our materials. So, to the thrift store.
Good morning. My eyes shot open this morning and I thought, I gotta go to the thrift store immediately. That was my car, not my butt. So here I am, 8 a.m. Let's find some ruined sweaters. I'm rubbing my hands together, but you can't tell. It's 22 degrees.
To make these upcycled mittens, all you need is a sweater. Thrifted. It could just be one that you accidentally put in the dryer and shrunk. We can give it a new life in a new form. A couple things you want to be on the lookout for with your sweaters. We're looking for wool specifically. And I know, best case scenario, we find one that's already been shrunk. Perhaps that's why it was donated to the thrift store. But maybe we find one that has some stains or some holes, some other reason for donation that maybe would keep someone else from buying it. Let's snag those to turn into our cozy paw coverings. And it's important that it's a natural material because we're going to be trying to felt this material even more. That is purposefully shrinking it so that the fibers become even more densely connected and warm, aka felted. This isn't a non-negotiable. You could use any sweater, but felted is best and easiest.
How old is this? 1977.
To see what I found at the thrift store. So, as a reminder, this is the sweater that started it all. It is incredibly felted. It came like this from the thrift store. Lucky me. And it has this really nice gray and cream and like lime color palette, which I think is gonna look so cool. Can you imagine? As a mitten. While I was at the thrift store, I was kind of looking at things in a bit of a tier ranking. Best case scenario would be like a wool that's already ruined. Because although there were, thousands of sweaters there, and me taking one sweater to turn into mittens was going to be a drop in the bucket, I'd still rather leave a nice sweater for someone to buy. But I was also looking at things like maybe this piece has a bunch of stains on it and that's why it was donated. Maybe it's just a very unfortunate silhouette that probably no one's gonna buy. Like this one. It's a cold shoulder turtleneck t-shirt. This is already a little bit felted. I can tell somebody shrunk it a bit. And it's a wool blend, so it's not even 100% natural materials. I like this because it had this ribbing at the bottom that we could use as a cuff, but I'm not gonna lie, just plain cream, not that exciting to me. So I did also find this. She's a little shrunkety, so I think we're gonna cut this up because look how cute. The gray, the green, the stripes, this combo, kind of fire. This is gonna be a redemption arc. Now I did also find, this is like the definition of felted. Look at this thing. Ooh, that's just straight up felt, baby. Somebody put this through the dryer many times and it's 100% wool. It's just this little cardigan, shruggy thing. Now it's a little thin. So for example, if we were to make a mitten from it, like you kind of see like your bones. You'd see your bones through the mitten. And I don't really want that. I want it to be chunky and thick. So I got this more so that we would have materials to make applique patches out of, or maybe some of the panels of the mittens are this, but we wouldn't make a full mitten out of this. I don't think I've ever said mitten so many times in my life. I did find a full-on new with tags Saison sweater, $11.99. I will not be cutting this up. I will be trying it on right now. Ooh. Mock neck with romantic button-up balloon sleeve and lace trimming down the front. Wow, it really was my lucky day at the thrift store, especially because I also found this calligraphy set from 1977. Crazy, let's look at it. Hunt Speedball, the Kin Brown calligraphy kit. Oh, we've got pen holder, nib holder. We've got assortment of nibs. We've got eraser that looks like a nutrient-rich meal replacement cube. And, hear that, still moist, super black India ink from 1977. Or so, who's to say? We think this is toxic? Anyways, back to sweaters. You're so small. Before we get started, I do need to wash the materials I'm going to use for a couple different reasons. One, they're thrifted. Two, the washing or introducing the hot water and the heat and the agitation is what makes it like a dense felted material, which is why typically you don't wash wool or cashmere sweaters just in the washing machine or put them in the dryer. And finally, if you wash it now and you shrink it now, hopefully if you have to wash your mittens in the future, they won't shrink too much more. Although I wouldn't recommend just throwing your beautiful wool mittens in the washing machine. And while these are washing, we can prep our pattern. Would you like to see some tiny sweaters? This one was already shrunken, and now it's even more shrunken. She's so tiny. I do love these hook and latch closures. I will be saving those. This guy was already pretty felted, and now it's just a little more felted. It's just kind of like a heathery oatmeal texture. Ooh, soft. Before we go further, just walking through this room is making me want to pull my hair out one strand at a time because it's cluttered. We just had the hoodie launch this past week, and this was kind of our home base for packing up a lot of them. It's a little crazy. And you want to know the secret to doing a quick little tidy up? Just play race car sounds in your head. Are you watching TV? Okay, that's marginally better. Let's carry on. So the pattern we're using is the upcycled mitten pattern from Jan from youmakeitsimple.com. I think this tutorial really got a lot of traction when Bernie Sanders wore those mittens at the inauguration. I've had this video saved to my I want to make this someday playlist for years, and so it really feels good to finally be trying it for ourselves. And the beautiful thing about it is Jan has a video tutorial as well as written instructions, depending on how you want to learn. Link the pattern, or I guess the video, in the tutorial down below if you want to make these too. And it's really simple. It's just 3 pieces. We got the thumb panel, we got the top of the hand, and we got the bottom of the hand. And I think I'm going to kind of be pattern smashing because at least for the width, I'm a medium, but for the length, I'm a large, which is crazy because I feel like my hands are on the smaller side. So we'll see. We'll see how that actually plays out. Let's cut these bad boys. Comes the fun part where we get to choose how we want our mitten to look. So I know for sure I want this really nice wool guy to be the main event. So that will be the top of my hand. And then I think I want the stripe to be the cuff and maybe even the thumb. Decisions. Here goes nothing. Bring out the big guns for this. So you cut 4 of each pattern piece. 2 for the mitten exterior and 2 for the lining, so that you end up with 2 mittens instead of 1. And obviously this video is not a tutorial. If you want a tutorial that's well designed and already exists, you can watch the one from Jen. But if I come across any specific learnings or like pitfalls, I'll be sure to share them with you. And one of the tips is to make sure that you put a pin or some sort of marker on the right side of things so that you don't get too terribly confused. So I'm gonna do that. What side is the outside side? So we just cut this. Now I'm gonna flip it and do the same thing again. Don't forget to flip it. Oh, these are gonna be so cute. I think we're gonna take the plunge and do white palms. And I'll just do my best not to be a nasty little freak and get them all dirty. Because there is something about a little white mitten. Oh. One thing I'll say about this, or if you're using like a sweater that's not 100% wool, it might not felt up super nice, so that when you're cutting it, it's gonna wanna fall apart like ramen noodles. So just be really gentle, don't pull at the edges. We'll just hope when we sew it together, it all stays in one piece. Oh my gosh, this is how it's gonna look. Oh, cute. Do it again. And while we repeat those same steps one more time, let's take a moment to hear from today's sponsor. I've got beef, okay? You know the saying, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones? Well, as someone who basically lives in a glass box, I think the saying should be, people in glass houses have cold feet, because mine are almost constantly. This abode of mine gets pretty chilly in the colder months. So I'm so thankful to Bombas for not only sponsoring this video, but for saving my tootsies from turning into popsicles. Popsicle-itsies. These are the chunky rag socks, and they're so plush, and they're so warm. Perfect for wearing with boots while you're out and about, or slides when you're around the house. And I know being a little chilly in your house is such a small problem to have, which is why I think it's so awesome that when you purchase from Bombas, you're also donating one of the top 3 most requested items by homeless shelters. 1 purchased, 1 donated. Bombas customers have helped to donate over 150 million clothing items to those who need them, and I think that's pretty awesome. So if you'd like to try out Bombas yourself, new customers get 20% off their first purchase. Just go to bombas.com/Kathleen and use code Kathleen20 at checkout. Feel good and do good, knowing your purchase is doing some real good. Thank you, Bombas. Let's get back to it. I ain't never seen 2 pretty best friends, but I have seen 2 pretty mittens. Oh my gosh. I feel so powerful, to be honest. Now we have to do all of that again, but with a lining material. You know, I don't think it's like mandatory, although it's a good idea just to make them extra warm and sturdy. But I'm so glad that I picked up this oatmeal-y shruggy thing because it is the perfect lining material. It's super thin, wool, so lucky us. We are sewn together, but we are inside out. It's time for the flip. Ah, cute. Now I just have to sew this one together, sew in the lining, add a cuff, and we're done. Just a couple more things to do. Let's flip her. This guy got a little, it's like pointing down. I must have caught a seam in the machine somehow. So let's see how it looks. We might not have to fix it. That'd be nice. And if we do, I don't know how. So we'll learn. So that's not really what I wanted to happen. I have no one to blame but myself. Okay, let's try that again. I seam picked it, so we shouldn't get that weird bump. Flip it. Yes. Much better. Oh my gosh. It's perfect now. No more bunching. Wow. You guys want to do it? You want to see my mittens? Cuff, lining. Let's go. People, I regret to inform you, it's been like an hour, and I've been stumped with adding this cuff because it is 3 layers of thick sweater fabric. It's the outer mitten, it's the lining layer, and it's the cuff layer, all in this little hole, and my sewing machine just doesn't want to sew it all together without having an attitude. So I'm gonna hand sew it, and it's gonna take a fraction of the time that I've already spent. I hope it's easier for you, and if it's not, join me on this hand sewing journey. I'm just gonna do like a running basting stitch that's secured on both sides because this cuff is not really gonna be like holding any weight. It's kind of just decorative, and it's also gonna be secured with a button. Surprise! Button incoming. So we'll see how this goes. I could be eating my words. In 5, 4, 3, 2. No words were eaten. A cuff should not have been that hard. Let's do the other one. Red is cute. Red's always cute. Ooh, green flower, guys. There's a little hot pink detail in there, which is so random and cute, actually. Ooh, fabric-covered gingham would be sweet. Statement will be fluorescent pink thread that you can't even see. I think we lived in a total of 3 different homes when we lived in California, and every single one was dangerously close to a grocery outlet bargain market. And I had never heard of this magical place before I moved to the San Francisco Bay Area, and we were obsessed. It has like overstock or like specialty stuff, kind of like Aldi. Anyways, they just opened one near me, and I'm home. I haven't heard the jingle yet though, so still waiting for that fated moment. No brand. Made for consumer, chicken flavored crunch puffs. This feels procedurally generated. Dry your orbs. People. You thought you were just gonna get one craft in this video? You're getting at least 2. So I want to make some garlands that we can hang in the window, but not any garlands, paper cutout garlands. I think windows are such a great opportunity for holiday decorating because you get to use light. You get to use a framing device, literally the frame of the window. I'm talking about birds. I'm talking about flowers. Ooh, angels. Ooh, that's cool. Wow, what can't we make? Okay, enough scrolling. Let's get to folding into snippets. Which is the exact reason that when we see a roll of paper at the thrift store, you get the roll of paper at the thrift store. We'll measure a little wider than our window so that it can droop a little bit. A folded hot dog and cut that so we can make 2 different ones. I'm just gonna start folding, accordion style. Like so. And then I wasn't able to find a pattern for this, but I think I can figure it out. I'm gonna draw half of a bow. Let's see what that makes. And if you've ever made one of these, the secret is any part of your drawing that's on either of the edges, leave those intact. Don't cut them, but cut everything else. Let's see how we did. Cute. Do they look like bows? They kind of look like mustaches. Let's see if that helps. Cute. What do these look like to you?
The middle parts look like frogs.
Frogs?
Yeah.
Guys, this is called iteration. This is where the magic happens. We cut the edges a little more, that connection point a little more teensy. Now that's a bow. Sweet, let's make another one. Ooh, what else should we make? Bunnies, swans. Honestly, I think we could cut this in half too and have them be even smaller. This would also be so fun, especially if you have like kids in your life. If you painted the big strips of paper first all together, like did giant polka dots or splatter paint or whatever you want, and then cut it apart, you get really cool kind of mystery patterns on your final garland. Honestly, I want to do that as an adult. I feel like there are so many crafts or projects that I remember doing like in my art classes in elementary school that I'm like, those are legitimate like art practices. Like they do not need to stay confined to the K through 12 art classroom. Maybe that would be a fun series, taking children's kind of art lessons and using them to create things that even the Pinterest girlies would love. There's a niche there. Okay, that looks about swan shaped, swan sized. I also like this craft because the kind of wonky nature of collage and paper cut is so charming. Like you don't have to be the best drawer ever to make one of these look super duper cute. And one way to get kind of an asymmetrical look is to not fold every single one of your pieces perfectly, which lo and behold I haven't been doing. For example, like some of them are a little smaller, some of them are a little bigger, so that when you cut them out, the connection points between all of them will be like slightly different and give it that real homemade look. Okay, what's a swan look like? No one knows. Ooh, houses, like doing a little neighborhood, that would be cute. Can you even see that? Swanish? Let's try it. La 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 la. Snip snip, cut cut. La 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 la. I hope this works. They're going to be kissing the swans. They kind of look like flamingos. Hey, that's fine, no problem. There's something about making things that just makes you feel powerful and evil, and I highly recommend it. Their beaks make hearts. Yeah, I did that on purpose. You know, a lot of times people comment on my videos and they're like, you really make doing creative things look fun. And my response is, of course they're fun. Look what you can do if you're brave enough. Shooting stars. This one, we're not going to talk about that one. Have just triggered a migraine from staring at the sun for too long. The classic migraine nightmare of, is that just an eye floaty or is my day about to be ruined? I'll check back with you guys later.
I deserve a little treat. Perhaps a latte from Belle's Bread. I do need to finish a little bit of Christmas shopping, so when in Rome.
Have y'all noticed that everybody's obsessed with fiber right now? First it was protein, gotta get enough protein, gotta get enough protein. Now it's fiber. Everyone's scared of butt cancer, and they should be. We're gonna make a soup that will make you poop your pants. A lot of roughage. I love soup. Oh, I love making soup. This is one of my favorites. It's a riff off of a sweet potato, pumpkin, peanut butter soup. You can choose sweet potato or pumpkin, or do both. I'm not quite sure which one I'm gonna do. With a bunch of greens. I've got kale. You could use mustard greens. It's gonna be so good. We did it, everyone. We combated the darkness and despair of winter, and I think we're victorious. Look at how those patterns play together. So soft. I'll put the link down below for the mittens if you'd like to try it yourself. And I shared a quick story on Instagram of the paper garlands that I was making, and a lot of people wanted the pattern, which was cool, but also pattern doesn't exist because I just made it up. So here's a screenshot, if you want to screenshot this, of some starting off points if you want to do the bow, the swans, the shooting star, and sun. And maybe I'll make some actual patterns in the future. I mean, I had a ton of fun and felt like a megalomaniac making those things, so that seems like a good avenue to pursue. I hope you had a nice time hanging out with me this week. I sure did. We got up to so much cozy goodness. Soup, delicious, effective. What more is there to say? And that's all for me. I'm gonna take next week off to enjoy the holidays, but January, booked and busy. You're gonna be sick of me, so we can hang out then. Oh, last thing, thank you to everyone who grabbed a hoodie during the launch. It was so fun packing them up and getting them in the mail for you. I hope they're arriving safely and that you love them. And thanks to everyone who stopped by the local pop-up. I posted about it on Instagram if you want to come follow me there, at kathleenillustrated. 100% of the proceeds from the pop-up and a portion of the proceeds from the online sales are going to Chris, Ohio, which supports community members who are refugees and asylum seekers. And I'm gonna be able to double that donation using a corporate match. So together, we're able to make a pretty cool impact. So thank you so much. Okay, that's enough for me. I love ya. I hope you're staying warm and that you're kind to yourself this holiday season because you deserve it. Okay, love ya. Stay stinky. Bye.